Batman the Killing Joke is the latest from the animated features from Warner Brothers, and it's based on the graphic novel one-shot of the same name, Batman the Killing Joke. What the Killing Joke is, it's essentially a Joker origin story. We find out a little bit about who the Joker was before he became the Joker. Now, the beginning of the film was pretty interesting. It wasn't Batman the Killing Joke. It was actually like the first 30 minutes of this 80-minute feature was about Batgirl. So you kind of got like this Batgirl mini-movie inside of Batman the Killing Joke. It definitely added a lot to the story as far as like character motivations, but at the same time it was very unnecessary. But I definitely liked it. It was kind of interesting to see some of these dynamics and thought process action sequences involving Batgirl, which we normally don't get to see, especially in the animated features. And then we really get into the Killing Joke, what the Killing Joke is, once we switch over and Barbara gets shot. That's really what the Killing Joke was, and that's really kind of where it started. It's where Joker kidnaps the Commissioner. He basically tortures him into looking at photos of Barbara, shot, paralyzed, whatnot, and basically tries to break his psyche, I guess, which was kind of interesting of a story, and Batman has to track him down and stop him. Before I get into what I liked and disliked about this movie, let me start by saying that this was probably one of the more anticipated animated features for me for a while. I love a lot of the WB animation, like mini movies, I guess what you want to call them. Well, they're actually, I would call them about a feature film. They're about 80 to 90 minutes long. Now, I'm committing blasphemy because I had never read The Killing Joke, the graphic novel. So when I saw it, I was very, very hyped up. Now, let's get to what I liked about the film. Obviously, the characters are a big, big positive in this film. Batman has a great story. Joker has a great story. These are two iconic characters that are constantly going head to head. But I do have to say that there was one kind of downfall to the Joker character, which I'll get to in the negative section in just a minute. Another big positive for me were some of the story elements. Now, I say some because only some were good. I mean, I actually didn't mind the Batgirl, Paris Franz relationship, fight, all of that stuff. I think it added to the dynamic of the film. It added a lot of action. It was kind of creepy at the same time because Paris Franz was pretty much obsessed with Batgirl. And I liked her sort of determination to prove herself. All of the other action elements were pretty good. I liked, again, back to the Batman trying to figure out, rationalize with the Joker as opposed to just beating the crap out of him. That was another great story element. But there were some additions that I don't think were necessary, which let's get to that. For the negatives of this film, I think the style was something that put me off a little bit. Joker kept changing. There was a scene where like his eyes were fairly big and bug-eyed. He had this massive nose. And then there would be a scene where he's like has these dark sunken eyes with like this very strong jawline. There's that iconic scene where he has both of his hands in his hair. There's just stylistically changes in the Joker more than any other character in this film. I feel like Joker kept changing and fluctuating, and it was just off-putting to me. Also, a downfall that I mentioned before of the Joker is that they give him an origin story. I think one of the creepiest things about the Joker is that we don't know who this person is. Like they say in The Dark Knight, some men just want to watch the world burn. That's what I like about the Joker. We don't know who he is or his motivations, and that's what makes him so creepy. Also, a negative for me, there's something added to this film to add for character effect and character moment, character building that was completely unnecessary. To put it lightly, Batgirl gets frustrated with Batman and they have relations. And it's kind of awkward. I just didn't really like it. It added something that you're just like, whoa, where did this come from? Not necessarily in a good way. So that threw me off very much and sort of put me on an uneasy, sort of uncomfortable situation with the rest of the film. For this film, I'm also adding a neutral category because I feel like there was something I was very neutral on. And that was the ending. Because I feel like the ending, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of this animated feature here for you. But how it ends is very, not necessarily controversial, but it makes me question what I just watched. It's very good because Joker and Batman sort of have this personal moment. but it's also negative to me because I feel like nothing was resolved in the end. It doesn't really give us a solution. I feel like it just sort of ended and that was it. Like, I don't really know how to feel about it. So I'm very neutral about it. The grade I'm going to give Batman the Killing Joke is a C. This film was just okay for me. It didn't overly surprise me. It didn't overly excite me. It didn't give me... I feel like I'm going to have to rewatch it at some point because I feel like there's something that I missed. It was just okay. I don't think it lived up to the hype of the comic book. I just feel like this story was overhyped. I feel like all of the positive things that I've heard about this story, about this graphic novel, was just so high. And then when I see it, I'm just not that enthused by it. It doesn't keep me engaged as much. It's not a story that I'm overly excited about. And it was just kind of disappointing to me. I felt like it was average, but I feel like there's a much better Batman stories, a lot better animated films involving Batman and other characters, such as Under the Red Hood, The Dark Knight Returns, and Justice League Doom. I think all of those were fantastic stories, and I feel like Batman the Killing Joke, although I respect it, it just wasn't as amazing to me as it was being hyped up to be. So I'm disappointed in a way, but I also respect for what it is and where it went. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think about Batman the Killing Joke, either the graphic novel or this animated feature if you've seen it yet. Let me know that in the comment section below. I also just posted a video about the new Justice League photo that just came out, which I'm super excited about. Head over to that episode, I guess, video. Head over to that video if you want to check that out. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and like always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos, and we'll see you in the next one.